Welcome to A&M Reviews. I'm Sky Bear, and I'm here with my buddy Sal. What's up, Sal?
Not much.
So today, this is Movie Roundup. These are movies we didn't have time to do a full review of, so this is just a short recap. And our movie rating system is in the description in case you want to follow along or whatever. I don't know. Up to you. So, what have you watched lately, Sal? Because you've seen a lot more movies than I have.
Yes, I went to see a few movies. We didn't have an episode last Friday, so
Yeah, sorry about that. Been busy.
yeah, he'll tell you what he did.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah,
something
been busy.
bad. It's not
busy.
bad.
Yeah, just I was at a Native American Film Festival in Virginia.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the board of directors for it. So,
Ooh,
yay.
nice.
So was doing that. It was a lot of fun. Saw some movies, and yeah, some of them are in here. So we're gonna talk about that.
Yes.
Anyway, what have you seen, dude?
Okay, so let's start back. These are a few movies that I saw back early in the beginning of the month. First, I saw A Bad Mom's Christmas. Okay, this is a comedy, but it's a comedy that you probably want to watch when you're tipsy.
When you have nothing else to watch.
And tipsy, because especially the moms in the movie, they're always drunk, I guess. They're tipsy, they're always drinking stuff. So, it's a holiday Christmas movie before Thanksgiving, so that's when it came out.
Is it better or worse than the first?
I didn't go see the first one.
What the fuck? You saw the sequel without watching the first one?
Yes, and I went to see the sequel because my sister wanted to go, and I was her right, so I was like, I'll go. I'm like,
Sal, even I saw Bad Moms.
okay, well, to be honest, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It had its jokes, and some of the jokes got too... They were tiring. So I gave it a 6.5 to 7. I mean, this means wait until it's on DVD and just go rent it. Go home. If you have nothing to do, sit back, open a bottle of wine, and watch it. It's funny, and yeah, it's basically taking the point of view of a mom, during Christmas time, and then at the end it's saying, like, mothers always care about mothers, and like your mom's mom is going to care about her, and your mom's going to care about you. But my issues with it was, there was some scenes, I don't know what it was, but the camera kept shaking. And I know it wasn't done on purpose, so I don't know if they skipped that after the movie was done. They were editing. They could have stabilized it, but they kept moving the camera around, especially at the ending when they're in the church. That bugged me. There was I think it was from the left side or the right side, but it kept shaking. And then once it went to the opposite side, the camera wasn't shaking. So I was like, it has to be the camera operator. So that really bugged me, and I told my sister, but she's like, I didn't see that. And I was like, oh god, really? Okay, so that's why I gave it a 6.5. I mean, like, I couldn't stand some of the scenes. Some of the jokes were okay, they were funny, but then some of them were out there just for the moms. This is a mom's movie that for them to see. I don't think a guy would enjoy it because he's like, oh, these are like topics I'm not comfortable with or something. But it's not even a decent comedy. It's just a comedy for moms that they would enjoy because it's things they go through. Right. Next movie I saw was My Friend Dahmer.
You bastard. I wanted to watch that.
This movie, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It's how he became Dahmer, the one that we know. A lot of people who went to the theater, and I heard them afterwards, they were saying like, oh, is that it? They didn't even show when he killed someone. I'm like, no. What did you get?
That was the point.
Yeah, where did you get that this was a movie where he was going to kill people? I mean, this is how he became Dahmer. It's based on the book. I didn't read
Did you read the comic?
I didn't read it. I didn't read it.
Yeah, we suck, people. I'm not sure if I've said that enough, but
the thing is, like, every time I know it's from a source, I want to go see it first and give it my unbiased review. Then go read it or look up the source. This movie, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7.5 to 8. That means it's a limited release. I only saw it in a few theaters around here, so go see it, which I don't know if it's still running. But if you get the chance, if you see it on DVD, rent it, get it, buy it. It's a good character study. And the actor who took on the role of Dahmer, he was a Disney star kid. And for him to take on this role and the way he kind of embodied the character. And I'm not saying this just because he's a new kid or something. It's this guy took on the role seriously. He developed the character. It made you feel uneasy watching him, not in a weird way, but just socially awkwardness that he portrayed. You kind of felt it. So I enjoyed it a lot. but I just gave it a 7.5 to 8. Next movie I went to go see, Daddy's Home 2. I saw this before it got released. I went to a screening. Yeah, that's the reason. Daddy's Home 2, didn't like it as much.
I was actually excited for this one, and I didn't even like the first one.
Didn't like it as much. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
It's worse than the first one?
It's kind of, this whole thing is like socially awkward, and there are jokes in there, and it's like joke after joke, and it gets boring.
I don't know if I want to watch that movie anymore, Sal.
I don't think you should go see it. And then the only thing that kind of was funny was that, you know how every time at the end of the movie there's like this twist for the Daddy's Home. The issue is that the daddies are in a relationship with her, you know, one is divorced and there's the new dad who comes in and stuff like that.
Right.
Will Ferrell finds out that his mom and dad divorced, and his dad just comes to visit him. He's like, oh, your mom stayed home because she's taking care of, you know, Uncle something. He's like, oh, she's always nice and everything. Well, it turns out that they've been divorced.
Oh, what?
And the mom started going out with a guy that who is Will Ferrell's father. Every time he flies, he talks to people. He made a friend that he invited home. And guess what? The mother started going out with the guy. And guess who the guy is?
Who?
Pilot Sully.
Who's that?
The guy who saved. There was a plane that was going to crash the Hudson River.
Sully?
Sully. So it's actually
like the actual guy.
The actual guy comes out.
Oh,
there.
What the fuck?
And that's the only redeeming part of the movie that I liked, because he's coming down the escalator, and then Will Ferrell's supposed to go meet him. He's like, "Oh, you must be, you know, so and so."
So why didn't you start with that? Now I have to watch this movie.
Then just go at the end of the movie and watch it. I mean, the rest of the movie, like, there's jokes and stuff like that, but overall is really slow to develop. I'm not really that kind of guy who just wants to go and, you know, sit at the movie and there's like silly jokes and then ha ha ha. Will Ferrell has had better movies than this. I think this is just another movie that's like, oh, look, it did good for part 1. We should make a part 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So then the next movie that I went to go see was Goodbye Christopher Robin. This movie,
man, I wanted to check that one out.
This movie was great. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Ooh,
it gave you the point that a lot of people don't know the story of Winnie the Pooh. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. The characters were amazing. The time period, how they had all the figures and everything, the house decorations, everything was well done. The story is marvelous. It's a story how you kind of feel bad for the kid because he grew up in the shadows of a fictional character, and it's like, it's basically heartwarming because at the end, like, he wants to make his name for himself, so he goes to war. This is the spoiler part. There's a period since the beginning where the parents get a letter, and it's a missing in action letter saying your son, you know, he's presumed dead.
Right.
And they assume that he's dead, and then a few days later he shows up, and this is what happens. So at the beginning of the movie, they get the letter, and then it goes into the flashbacks, you know, to the beginning of the story. This is how it all started. Then when it finishes, it's back to the present time. The dad's outside, you know, drinking because he's, you know, sad. In the distance, he sees somebody walking up, and it's Christopher Robin. He's coming back home. So he turns out that he's alive. But the funny thing is that they actually showed pictures of the actual people, you know, who were involved in the story. They actually gave little tidbits at the end, how Christopher Robin never asked for any money or never took any money from the Winnie the Pooh or any of the products or stories that they, you know, were released. Right. The dad did feel bad and he stopped writing about it, but then Winnie the Pooh just got more famous and more famous even until now. Disney's, you know, been writing stories about it forever, making movies. And I just enjoyed the movie a lot, and it really kind of touched me, saying like, this is how the father saw it. Like, I wanted to give you a better life, so I kind of wanted you to be in my world, so I made a story about you. But the kid's like, but I never asked you to make a story about me and sell it to the world. So it kind of got me. It's like, I can see both points. So I was like, I'm in the middle and I can't really give a side and stuff like that. I kind of felt that some was unfair too, for, you know, bitching at the dad, and at the same time the dad, you know, doing this to the kid and having the kid work and do interviews every day when the kid could just be out and playing, you know. So it's a movie I recommend you watch. It's amazing.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out when I can.
Next movie, The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Okay, I was a little hesitant about this one. Like, I haven't watched it, And that's mainly because the director, like the
Yes.
last movie he made before this was The Lobster, and I was
Yes.
not a fan of that one, even though
Okay.
everyone was like, you need to watch The Lobster. It's like, no, you need to stop hyping it the fuck up.
You might not be on board with this movie. I gave it a 7 to 7.5. The thing that I enjoyed about the movie is it's a doctor, right? And he's a surgeon. And the whole dialogue at the beginning, it's robotic and sterile. So in that sense, it just makes me feel like it's basically like the doctor saying like, I'm a doctor and my life is the same way as an operating room. It's just robotic and this and that. Even there's a scene when he's in bed with his wife and they're about to, get intimate, and she lays on the bed like she's comatose or something, and I think that's the only way the husband likes to have sex or something. It's this so awkward dialogues they have. There's a scene where the daughter or something, they meet somebody, and then the dad says, "Oh yeah, my daughter just started her period, or she just got her period or something." Okay. And I'm like, why would you come up with this dialogue and stuff? And then the kid came. This is the character who's the outside person who does the. I don't know if I want to spoil this, but okay. So the family is dad, the mom, and 2 kids, and there's something that dad does. I think he kills a patient, and then the patient has his son and his wife, so he dies. The doctor takes it upon himself to go see this, raise the kid, or just be in the kid's life, as a mentor. The kid takes it upon himself to basically say, you need to make the world right, and I'm going to give you option. And this is the part where I didn't like. They don't explain what he does, but he says, look, I'm going to give you an option. You have to kill one of your family members, just the way you killed my dad, and we're going to be even. If you don't do it, all 3 die. First, they're going to start, losing their, they can't walk, or you're going to be paralyzed. Next, they're going to start bleeding from the eyes, and then they're going to die. So you have 3 days to choose who you're going to kill. The dad doesn't believe it. He slowly starts seeing that the kid can walk, and he thinks that he's joking, and he's like, walk or something. They take him to the doctor, do tests. They can't find anything. But slowly they start believing that, yeah, there's something to this. And it's a mystery. The suspense is there. But the way they do it, it just leaves you like asking more questions than they answer. But the acting is really good. I want to say it's awkward acting, but it's weird.
I mean, like, that kind of seems along the lines of, The Lobster. So,
yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. Although, yeah. I do have one question for you, Sal.
Yes.
Okay, I need to know, were there deer? Were they sacred? And were they killed?
No, the whole...
Then what the fuck?
The name of the title comes from, I think, from a Greek. It's a story, basically how somebody tries to appease the god by killing a sacred deer. And it plays into the story as the father has to appease the kid by killing one of the family members who is sacred to him. So he can't choose. The other thing that I want to point out is that the actor, the kid who comes and gives him this, this option that you have to kill a family member or they're all going to die. He came out in Dunkirk. He's the kid who was on the boat, who also died in Dunkirk. But in this movie, he's the kid who's like, look, you killed my dad. Now you have to kill somebody from your family or they're all going to die. And at the end, someone does die from his family, but they just leave it at that. They don't explain what happens if the other family members got better. So in that sense, that's why I gave it a 7 to 7.5. It's this movie that still lingers, doesn't really end properly. There's more questions that got raised than, got answered. And I think that's probably your take on The Lobster too. So I don't know. The next movie I went to see was Wonder.
And I take
Wonder
it
was
you didn't read the book?
No, I didn't. I didn't read the book.
Yeah, neither did I.
I took my niece because I know that I wanted to go show her this movie. I went to go see it, and I was expecting, which it was a con because I was like, if this is going to be all about the boy, it's going to be kind of really slow pace. But what I liked about it, once I got there, they started talking about the boy point of view, and then it looked like a chapter movie. Every time it went from one chapter to another, it was a different character. It was first it was the boy, then it went from his sister's point of view, and she told the story of her life and how her brother is impacting her life and stuff like that. Then it talk
cool.
about the friend. So once you're done with the movie, it's like you went through the whole family and best friends of the sister. So it's like this story that kind of brings you more into the family, so you kind of dive into them and you know everybody's problems or dark secrets and stuff like that.
That sounds cool.
And at the same time, it's a really great movie to take your kids to go see because it's heartwarming and everything. I enjoyed it, so I gave it an 8 out of 10. And I recommend that you, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Take a kid, take your nephew, take your niece, or just take your parents or your sister or anybody. Just go see it with somebody and enjoy it. It's a good message movie. It has deep.
Yeah, it seemed like a good family friendly feel good movie.
Yes, and it was. So that does it for my movies. Skyber, what movies did you see?
So I saw a documentary at the Native Film Festival that I was at called Rumble, The Indians Who Rocked the World. And yeah, it was pretty good. It's very informative, good documentary. I mean, I don't watch documentaries too often, but no, this was cool. It was kind of eye-opening to see like certain people that I did not know were native were in fact native, or at least had some native in them. It's like, hey, I like that. You influenced rock and roll. Good for you. But yeah, I give it like a 7.5. Like it's a good watch if you got the time.
Yeah, because I mean, some documentaries could be hit and miss. It's really hard to make a documentary that people will enjoy, and I've seen a lot that have a good story, but they don't progress it the right way. So it's good to hear that you gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, and like if you want to check out like the rest of the lineup of the movies, we'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out over there. Yeah, so be woke, people. The next movie I saw recently was on Netflix called Sandcastle. I don't know why I've been in like a war movie mood lately, but I've just been watching a lot of war stuff. Like I just finished watching The Pacific for the first time. Not as good as Band of Brothers, but it's still good.
Nice.
But yeah, Sandcastle. I thought it was okay, decent. It was kind of weird to see Superman be like that. If you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I give it like a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I mean it was okay.
All right.
And then most recently, I saw The Florida Project. I was so hyped to see this movie. Sean Baker's new movie. It's in film, except for the ending. And but yeah, I mean, I've been stoked. I mean, I saw Tangerine, was blown away, and I saw Starlet recently, saw Prince of Broadway, and oh my god, you gotta check. Like, if you haven't heard of Sean Baker, you gotta check this dude out. He's fucking cool.
Nice.
But I don't know, The Florida Project. I'm still working on it, Like, I'm still thinking about these characters and about the journey that we went on and just the ending that we got with this movie too. I don't know. But like so far, and like I would say like first impression, like a good 7.5, 8 out of 10 movie.
So like the longer you rest on the movie, do you see that you're liking it more, or do you see that you're kind of like not liking it as much?
I think I'm still in like the same point,
Okay.
But I mean, like, I'd say like I give it that rating because mainly it's just like the little girl, the actress that's in the movie. Oh my god, like whole movie, just like she pulled her weight and it was cool. And oh my god, I would just watch the movie just for her again. and she was just completely herself. But then like also we were following along a storyline. But I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I'm not really like a fan of the ending that happened, but I mean, I'm happy with what we got.
That's good.
So that's it for our movie roundup. Social media is in the description, and hit us up if you have any questions.
Remember, keep watching movies.